breakfast time, and as the keepers begin their rounds, I've joined the mob of meerkats as they're let out for the day.
And here they come. Good morning, everybody. Straight out, upright, looking to see if there's any danger, and then immediately they're off, out, looking for food. But not every animal at the park leaves its enclosure with such confidence.
The park's 14-strong giraffe herd spend the winter in the giraffe house and paddock. Today, they'll be heading down to the main African reserve for the first time this year. And for the youngest, Evan, it'll be his first ever encounter with other species. In the wild, giraffe live alongside some of Africa's most dangerous animals. Here at the park, they'll be living with 2 young male wildebeest or gnu, which have only just moved to this enclosure. As the giraffe have never come across gnu before, Head of Safari John Merrington is in pole position to oversee their introduction.
It's a little bit tense, but they'll be coming down shortly, so we'll see how they get on.
If threatened, the gnu are likely to kick out, delivering powerful blows with their hooves, as well as using their horns to attack.
Obviously, we're a bit more concerned with the gnu. This is the first time they'll be mixed in the exhibit, and they do have horns, and that's what they will use to protect themselves. So we are a little bit concerned, more so for the smaller giraffes. We don't want them to get into a fight, so we're going to monitor their interaction very carefully.
But before they meet their new park mates, it'll be Keeper Tina's job to usher the notoriously nervous giraffes down this fenced-off passage called the race.
The giraffe, they're really quite nervous. They are looking a little tense. You can kind of feel it in the air.
The one thing about giraffe is they are incredibly scatty animals. If there's anything new, they're like, oh my god, what is that? It's the end of the world. Coming down the race, if there's a rogue bit of litter caught by the wind and blows up, that can completely turn things on its head. So hopefully we'll have no events like that and the giraffe will calmly stroll down. But with giraffe, anything can happen. Behind me, one of the keepers has lured the zebras and the gnu to the furthest point away from the raceway. That's so that it doesn't spook the giraffe as they're coming down, and also we don't want the zebras or the gnu charging up there when we've got the giraffe trying to come the other way. So it just sets us up to succeed, hopefully a little bit more.
It's time to go. With a little persuasion, the herd start to head towards the reserve. It's been 7 months since they were last here.
We can just see some of the first giraffe coming down now, so we're getting there.
All the giraffes are on the move. Pregnant 6-year-old Kate is leading the way, and 4-month-old Evan bringing up the rear.
Maybe he's letting all the others go first, he's a bit unsure. I think he's letting his bigger cousins come out and check it's safe before he's venturing further away. Everything's calm so far, the giraffe are just making their way out. The other animals haven't noticed yet, so I don't think the giraffe have noticed the others yet. Oh, they're starting to charge. Hopefully that's just excitement. That is all of them.
Giraffes and zebra would naturally encounter each other in the wild, but the keepers here have noticed the zebra also become quite playful.
Some of our zebras, our stallion zebra, like chasing young giraffe, which Evan obviously hasn't experienced yet, so hopefully he takes to that quite well. It looks like the zebras have just clocked where the giraffe are.
They're just about coming up to our giraffe. It'll be interesting to see how they interact.
They're not charging over, so I think it's more curiosity than aggression.
Oh bless, yep, they've all spotted Evan. He's just sort of having a look.
Oh, chasing a bit. So we've got some of the giraffe, they've just made a bit of a run for it away from the zebras, and some of the zebras are making chase. So having a bit of a charge around.
After spending the winter months away from here, the giraffe is certainly making the most of it now.
To see that sense of enjoyment for them is incredible. Giraffes are huge animals. It's incredibly impressive when you see them going at full pace as a group. As a keeper, it always puts you on tender hooks, because is if a giraffe does slip, they're such tall animals that if they go crashing down to the ground, there's always a risk of injury.
The zebra's now met the giraffe, and Evan seems to be doing really well. But our next challenge looks like it's coming.
So we've just got the canoe heading over now. The zebra and the giraffe are all in one big group now.
It'll be interesting to see what the giraffe made, because they've never seen the canoe before.
There's always that apprehension with horned animals, because of course they've got those tools to create some damage if they choose to. We have got one giraffe and the canoe just fronting each other off a little bit.
It looks from here, it's Percy, one of our young bulls. He's taking interest, he's going to say hello. Wait, no, he's backed off, bless him. He wanted to have a look, but his confidence wasn't quite there, and he's backed off and moved away from the canoe.
But then, the youngest member of the herd, Evan, decides to investigate these new creatures for himself.
Bit nervous about this interaction, because Evan is quite small.
Unlike his cousin, Evan shows no sign of standing down.
He's quite a brave little soul, taking on 2 canoe the first time he's been down in the reserve. A bit tense, but brave. When animals meet each other for the first time, it's important you let them sort it out, not get in the way. Then they know who's in charge and who gives way to who. I'm very happy with how it's gone so far. We've got all the animals together in one big group, and they all seem relatively relaxed, especially with our young giraffe there, which we're always on tenterhooks about. He's doing very well.
It's looking like these animals can live in harmony in this little slice of Africa in the heart of Wiltshire. But with the ever-playful Evan around, who knows what will happen. It's been 3 months since the giraffe were first let out, and Kate has gone to catch up with keeper Ryan to see how young Evan has been getting on.
It is such a fantastic moment, that, isn't it? That first day of summer when the giraffe come out into the big enclosure for the first time.
Well, it's always a big intake for us every time, particularly a calf comes down and meets everything else for the first time. We're always nervous because they're all individuals. Generally, they kind of stick to a plan where they stick with mum.
Yeah.
But we've had ones in the past that come out, just amble off and do their own thing, or see, wow, this is a huge space, I'm going to go for a huge run around, and they can get isolated sometimes.
Right. And Evan, the last time I was here back in the spring, he was literally just a few weeks old.
Yep.
And now he looks really confident. He looks like he's really very much part of the group. Would that be true?
I think you've hit the nail on the head. He's a confident character. You tend to find with the males generally are a little more confident than the females, but that's not necessarily so. But certainly with Evan, he's a very bold character, knows his own mind. He's literally out of the trap straight away saying, right, I like that, I don't like that, I don't want any mucking around.
And do you think his confidence is down to his mum a bit, into her sort of brilliant parenting skills?
Definitely, I think so. Gertie's she's a fantastic mum. She's always been one of the bolder characters in the group.
Yeah.
And I think she's passed that on to him really well.
It is going to be fascinating how things unfold over the next couple of years. I don't envy you having to be the referee, though.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. It's always lovely to be here.